see. I'm using the desktop version of Happs or the web browser version. Uh, Looks pretty much the same. I'm not sure if anyone can see me because I heard Periscope is officially gone, and I'm curious to see who's here. Say hi if you can see this. Uh, hey, Joanne Pham, what's up? Hey, hey, hey. Um, cool. There's someone watching. I'm doing fine. I'm still in Thailand, Chiang Mai. Everything is kind of okay. Uh, Taking care of two kids, running a co-living, co-working business, and trying to figure out what's going to happen next. Kevin James, good afternoon. Good afternoon in New Zealand. Hey, Richard. Can't chat from Twitter Live. Interesting. So, what does that mean? People who are watching in Twitter, they can see my face, but they can't comment. Is that what you mean? I need to see myself there. Okay. Test. Oh, there might be some echo. I sent a message in. I'm not sure if I can see my messages. Huawei Wenzhou is flying back to Shenzhen today. Huawei Ming Wenzhou. Okay. Is New Zealand still in a shutdown? Because I'm hearing news about New Zealand still in a lockdown. Like my friend has been sending me these Instagram stories of her cooking at home every day. But she's a good cook, right? So she's doing like amazing food, and it's killing me. Yo, they're even Osaka. Hey, hey, hey. This is a whole chat, so it's just casual chats. If anyone wants to jump in, feel free. Holand is okay. I don't know what to say about Holand right now. There's so much going on. There are the kids. There's a co-living, co-working business. There's Thailand. Where should we start? The comments from Twitter will not display in Happs. Apparently, that's the case. New Zealand is still in lockdown. Auckland is in level 3. Auckland, what does level 3 means? Exactly. Happs is having problems with displaying Twitter live comments. I don't think it's only Happs, but other live streaming platforms because they've changed something. That's how I understand it from MJ's group chat. Um, but I'm glad to see the familiar faces, right? Joanne, Dave, Richard, Kevin. Hey, you guys. Um, I mean, viewers are very hard to come by these days. Not even new viewers, but old time viewers. Who are you? City boy. My name is John, and I'm in Thailand. I'm in Thailand. I'm a Chinese. Um, what kind of information would you like to know about me? Level 3 is partial lockdown. I see. I see. Thank you. But I haven't been doing whole chats. The last time I was streaming, I was interviewing Don. Don, the big guy who's into crowdfunding and product design, and we had a very long chat at the Alt Co-living space. I thought that was a good conversation, but I am still trying to figure out what to do with content and all that. Why aren't you living in the States? Because I'm not from the States. I'm from Hong Kong. So I'm from Hong Kong. I studied in the States, and I moved back to Hong Kong, and now I'm in Thailand. Yeah. Although I do miss the States, just a week ago, a friend of mine was at an In N Out burger joint, and he decided to mail me an In N Out t shirt. And so I got the package not knowing what it was and opened it and was like, holy crap! In and Out T-shirt. I was so happy. That made the day. Yeah, we need whole chats. Do we not have enough chatting heads in live stream? It's okay. USA is a place it used to be, anyways. People say that. People say that, but I can say the same thing about Hong Kong, and I can say the same thing about Thailand. Because why would the place be the same? You know, like time goes on this direction, and so things are supposed to change for better or worse. So you can't really expect things to be always the same, right? Where is live streaming going, John? Where is live streaming going? That is the topic to discuss. Where is live streaming going? Now, funny enough, I received a message in my LinkedIn account of from a headhunter, and TikTok is trying to hire a guy, a live streaming accounts manager or business development. I forgot what is the title of the job, but TikTok is hiring someone, and one of the requirement of the job is to be familiar of the live streaming like space. So I think if TikTok is still looking for people to hire to manage the live streaming community, then there has to have some value in it, right? People came to US for opportunity and freedom, but I'm seeing more and more freedom being taken away. Right. Seems like Hap's comments are a little delayed too. Are they? I'm reading it slower too. Dr. D! Dr. D! Oh my god, all my favorite people are here. TikTok has surpassed YouTube for time watched, supposedly. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because every time I use TikTok, I feel like it's a black hole that you're sucked into it, and time just goes so fast. But at the end of the day, you ask yourself, what have you done? And you're watching a bunch of clips that has no meaning to your life whatsoever. Although maybe I'm watching the wrong content because the algorithm doesn't know what I like. So it's just feeding me with girls of big tits and funny pranks. Or maybe those are the most available content on TikTok. But the dollar will get you more living in Thailand. Definitely. TikTok surpasses Facebook. TikTok surpasses Facebook. Damn. Exactly. Doom scrolling on TikTok and then suddenly an hour has gone. Right. So I think sometimes people send me a link and it's going into TikTok and I'm watching it because someone sends me the video. So I'm like, okay, this must be interesting. But it's usually like 30 seconds, right? Or 45 seconds. Okay, good. That piece of information might be entertaining, might be useful. But then the moment you start scrolling, it's just all the stupid shit that's in the system. And it just goes on and on and on. And it's super engaging because it's supposed to be funny, entertaining, easy to consume, and all that, right? So you're like, shit, I just lost 2 hours. What did I do? Just because one person, one of my friend, sent me a clip from TikTok. Man, their algorithm really works for me. So, what do you watch in TikTok, Joanne? What's your favorite and least favorite thing in Thailand? My favorite thing is the people, and my least favorite thing is the government. That's apparently what you continually watch. Lots of news sites on TikTok now, little news bites. News bites is also something I'm trying to avoid because news bites are like headlines. You know something on the very superficial level, and depending on the message they sent you, right? It's never going to be the whole story, anyways, right? So you read the headline, something happens, and subconsciously you make a judgment about it because that's what human psyche does, right? Oh, you know, On other news, some black person is being beaten by the cop. Oh my God, police brutality. You know, God damn it. What happened to Black Lives Matters? Why is it still happening in 2021? But is there a story behind it? Is there a reason behind it? Like, what was the cost? You can't know from a 30-second clip or these news bites. So I feel like it's just feeding this, like, you know need of consuming content, but it doesn't really help anyone or to educate myself on that issue. That's my take on bite-sized content. Hey, hockey rules. I watch a lot of DIY projects, cleaning and organizing, entrepreneur stuff. Um, and is it useful? Like, sincerely asking, because I prefer long form content. Like, I'm starting to listen to more and more podcasts. So, I mean, I think I've told you this, but I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan podcasts. Usually, when it's related to health, related to neuroscience, anti-aging, um, that kind of stuff. I'm very curious about, right? And then there's another guy that I started to follow, uh, Lex Friedman. Lex Friedman? Lex Friedman. And he's more like a computer geek. And I like the long form of conversation because they really go deep. They go very, very deep. It's all targeted at the under 34 crowd with no attention span. Yeah, I just don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, or it just depends on how you utilize it, right? It's the music that attracts me there. In Thailand or in TikTok, it's totally useful, quick and concise. Yeah, it's like fast food culture, You get the gist of it right away. I guess there's some use to it. If I let's say, okay, I can totally imagine myself. I need to educate myself on cryptocurrency, but or yeah, cryptocurrency or blockchain, right? But I don't have enough time, and there's so much content, and I wish someone can just like curate bites of information that I can just swipe and kind of know a little bit, because I don't need to be an expert on it, but I want to know more on what's happening, what's the technology, what's new, what's the problem, how are different countries reacting to it, and et cetera, right? So when it comes to that, yeah, feed me the bite-sized content so I'm informed on the basics, and I guess that's good enough, right? I'm sure I can start changing the algorithm of my account so I can kind of consume more crypto or Bitcoin topics. And then YouTube copies with shorts and Instagram with reels, and it just perpetuates that this decaying of the attention span. Right. So now you have reels, and I'm telling my staff in alt to create reels, and it's an art. Like, it's an art to edit, cut out, frame all these content, stitch it up together, put some music on, put some graphics on, and then hopefully you can get some engagement from the audience. I mean, I utilize the platform and these tools to also try to get audience, right? So it's kind of like a dilemma. You can stream up to 3 minutes now on TikTok. Interesting. 3 minutes. That's a very long time in a TikTok world. That would be a good channel, crypto. Yeah, I'm sure there's some. Yeah, stop watching the reels. More crypto. It's not my fault, Joanne. Or maybe it is. Or maybe it's my friends who send me all these, like yeah, twerking videos. If you want to see bad content in a very funny way, there's an Instagram account called Influencers in the Wild. I don't know if anyone has seen it. Influencers in the Wild. It's basically an account to aggregate like people doing content, but there's another guy kind of like recording them twerking, posing, doing stupid stuff on the streets, and like, you're kind of like the side bypasser watching that, and so people submit their own videos, and then the influencer in the wild thing would repurpose it. Hey, Louise, how's it going? Are you able to go out, or are you stuck at home, Louise, in New Zealand? The friend. Of course, I'm going to blame my friend. Who else am I going to blame? Yeah. And so, yeah, I'm at home. Uh, I decided to do a whole chat because I miss you guys. Honestly, my wife is my wife has bought a steamer, a steam cleaner, and she likes tidiness. Is it a popular account? It has more than a couple million followers. Influencers in the wild. I'm not gossiping. I'm complimenting on your cleanliness. That's my wife. Have you met my wife? Influencers in the wild. It's a 4.3 million. Hilarious. If you want to, if you want to know about what people do for internet, for TikTok, um, and verified too, and verified, right? So it has to be a real account. It has to be a real person. Yeah. I don't know how the verification works in Instagram. Please don't ask me about it, right? Anyway, so there's you guys, and David has been great. You know, you've been doing a lot of live stream, a lot of content uh, about Japan, and they're amazing. And it makes me feel like I want to be single again. I want to turn back time, so I'm not married. I don't have kids, so I can do the things you do. The biggest enemy is time. You know. Um, are you still doing the Chiang Mai Chinese account? Yes, I do. Like, so I have to kind of manage the time I have for social media content. So I have a Chinese Facebook page in traditional Chinese Cantonese, and I still do a weekly live stream, and I pick a topic about life and I talk about it in Chiang Mai and all that. So that's going on a regular basis. I do Instagram stories from time to time. Although I think my biggest challenge is figuring out how to really pick on a topic and just focus on doing it. Um, I miss the days that I can find interesting people and sit down and interview them and have a conversation about it. Uh, I did one a couple weeks ago, and I really enjoyed it, and I want to do more of it. And I'm thinking, where do I find an audience? Because it's not. I mean, it's I enjoy it, but I also want more people to watch it. So I used Happs, and I think we had maybe a couple, maybe 300 views. Um, and I just wish more people can know about it because I thought it was a really good conversation. So now I'm thinking, how do I edit the content? Maybe I should put it on a podcast. Maybe I shouldn't wear a top so I can show some flesh, and maybe that would get me more attention. I don't know. You guys have any idea? Any suggestions? Have you connected with Hong Kong Science Park co-living working space? The Greater Bay Area is gearing up. Not yet. I do know people who works in Science Park, and I know they have projects going on in Greater Bay Area, but it's a different kind of community. People who are in that space. I think my crowd in Chiang Mai is more European American or maybe Southeast Asian centric. They're less corporate and more like say individual, smaller scale. It can be tech related, obviously, but not necessary. So for anyone who is a remote worker, you know, they have a contract with their employer, and they can work anywhere. Then that's my target audience. The only tricky thing is tax. I think companies with employees and them working out of state or out of sight of the country becomes an issue when it comes to filing taxes and all that, and they don't want to go through those administrative issues. So yeah, show the text. So cute. The views will roll in. Tykes? What's tyke? Oops, I don't know that word. Am I gonna see? What's that word? Is it a typo, Doctor D? Show the kids. Oh, I'm like, is that a word? Yeah, show the kids. Sure. I mean, yeah, the kids do get more views. I need to get him out of the TV viewing range. Um, yeah, that's something I need to do as well. Anything new in Habs? Like I heard that they were going to do like a skin change or an interface upgrade, but that was like more than a couple months ago. I mean, I'm getting used to this. I'm fine with this, but it's not great still. Hong Kong SAR is featured in Star Trek Picard season 2. Really? But I don't know. Have you seen Picard? Has anyone seen Picard? I heard it's really bad, or it's just really Star Trek. So people are kind of dissing on it. I haven't started watching it because I can't. I don't have it yet. I don't have it in Thailand. So yeah, who's showing Star Trek anyway? Yeah. So man, this is all over the place. Um, on other news, and this might be of interest to Dr. D. I don't know why, but the topic of cannabis and marijuana has been coming up more and more often in Thailand. I think partly because of legalization, partly because of the law of attraction. So everywhere I go, I'm talking to people who's either growing or starting a business or smoking or baking or distributing or extracting. And so there's a lot about cannabis in Thailand. And there's a guy that I interviewed before. His name is Ryan, and he's creating a podcast about it. And I think you should check it out if you are interested. It's called The Perfect High. The Perfect High. Right. So, anything you want to know about cannabis in Thailand, I think it's going to be a great podcast to follow. They don't have the episodes published yet. The last time I was talking to the team, they're still editing the content, but um, I think a lot is going to come out from different platforms. The country could make good money if they can capitalize on the opportunity. The information is very fragmented, but I intend to also study more about it. There's also another substance. It's called kratom, Kratom, kratom. It's also a kind of psychoactive substance that would kind of make you chill, calm, and like kind of relieve pain. And a lot of the countryside people do it, and it's just been decriminalized or legalized, in fact. So you can actually you would be put into prison a couple months ago selling it, and now you can buy it at pretty much any pharmacy. Would you invest in a cafe or distribution if it became legal? No, probably not. Kratom is pretty brutal here. What do you mean by brutal? Like in terms of regulation or the substance itself being pretty nasty? I don't think I want to distribute addiction. Ugh. Okay, yeah, there is that problem, right? It is addiction. It is addictive, but I don't know how you would compare, let's say, kratom and cigarettes or alcohol. Like has there been comparison in terms of how addictive kratom is compared to these other products that are also legalized but regulated, right? But going back to the question with Dave, I don't think I want to be identified as the weed guy. I'm just curious to know about the industry, about the business models, about the operators, about the farmers. So I kind of want to document it, interview them, learn more, be educated, and understand like the benefits of of marijuana. Um, I mean, I have smoked a joint. I've eaten like edibles and all that. And to be honest, I prefer being drunk. I enjoy alcohol and the feeling of being buzzed than being stoned. John Ho hasn't held. Good teeth and tattoos with a blunt in your mouth would be great looking for you. Everyone loves the weed guy. Everyone loves the weed guy. Yeah, but I mean, being a father of two, I don't think getting stoned every day is the conscious state I think appropriate to be in. Yeah, but you know, I mean, if people have trouble sleeping, and if it makes them, sleep better, if you can figure out how to use high dosage of CBD THC oil to potentially treat um, chronic diseases or even cancer, right? That's interesting. And so right now, I mean, Dr. D can tell you that the research is inconclusive, but then there's a lot of, what do you call it? Um, just testimonials or um, anecdotal um, reports that the substance could help. So, you know, um, I'm just curious. I'm just curious. I'm just curious about it. But yeah, like if you ask me, I think drinking a nice glass of wine or whiskey or gin, appreciating the taste of it, versus, you know, eating a brownie or smoking a joint. I love drinking better. I don't know if you understand it, but I've done both, and I think I enjoy drinking better. Or maybe it's not good enough. I don't know. Does it benefit in terms of pain management? For medical marijuana, yeah, definitely. Um, I mean, that's why people do it, right? I guess it's a matter of preference. It is. But I think right now to be able to talk about it and it's not perceived as something super taboo, I think it's the right direction of it. I mean, when I was in Hong Kong, if I were to mention cannabis, weed, in a public space with like adults and professionals, I'm pretty sure people would give me weird looks. Um, and you see like government posters and just all kinds of propaganda telling you, warning you, how cannabis can get you addicted, it can ruin your life. They're just like casting this very negative view on the drug, and I don't think it's necessarily helpful, especially when you're an adolescent, right? When you're a kid and you want to be rebellious. When someone tells you that stuff is bad for you, you want to even do it more. So I don't think that kind of message is helpful for anyone, right? So here, uh, I talk to like older people, younger folks, professionals, potheads. Everyone is very chill about cannabis. Like nobody I speak of is like, oh, you want to stay away from that stuff. That stuff is dangerous, right? And so here, the perception of cannabis itself is very much not a big deal, you know. And I think that's a good way to see it. Obviously, you don't want people to abuse it, but it's just like alcohol. It's just like every controlled substance, right? So yeah, I think I'm a, I'm a I'm curious. I'm curious to see what's happening in this region of Thailand where I live, and maybe down the road, if I have more resources and I have people that I can collaborate with, I can do a little bit more content about it. FIT. Hey Jack, I'm a pothead and I'm a huge fan of cannabis. Right? People always think of it in terms of massive doses and huge blunts. You need micro doses or small doses, and it is still effective. Yeah, I mean, just another day, someone offered me an edible cookie, and so um, I wasn't sure how much was in it, so I ate maybe a quarter, more than a quarter. Yeah, and didn't really bother me, but I could kind of subtly feel the effects of it, and I was like, oh, okay, hmm, that's all right, you know. But then again, I prefer my sober state. Like I prefer the state that I am now, that I have more clarity. Uh, it's funny. Like people like to be stoned, and I guess they have their reasons. But and some people say it helps them to focus. For me, I feel a little bit too relaxed to a point that I can't really control, or I'm not as conscious of my movement or the things I say. Don't even mention you smoked weed when you entered U.S. border. Custom guards won't let you in. Uh, they don't ask you about that, right? And even if they do, I don't think there's any reason for me. All right, Dr. D, take care. Have fun in Vegas, and I'll see you in a couple weeks. But anyway, so who else has been streaming these days? I tried to talk to JL, and he's not streaming as much. Or maybe I'm just missing people's streams. I see Lisa streaming quite regularly, and then I don't know anything interesting. I have to. I need to be like briefed about this thing. Yeah, I'm a bit sad about like losing the community. If the pay was good, would you speak at a 420 convention about live streaming? I don't mind being associated with the industry if I can add value and talk about it, but I don't know how I can facilitate really. I mean, I've seen people stream about their cultivation, and this is back in Periscope time. So there's a lady in Colorado. I think I still follow her on Twitter. And there was a period that she would go into her little, indoor growing facility, and then she would show the different kind of plants. And it was fascinating to me because she was explaining how to do it, what kind of lights to use, the fertilizers, the strains, when is it good to harvest, how do you trim it, how do you create more buds. It's like learning how to farm, but a specific crop you have passion about so much that you take care of it like it's your own kid, you know. And so the plant itself is so pretty, and I would watch, almost as often as I can when she goes online. But that was when Periscope was really, really trending, and I missed those days. I don't see that type of content in here. I don't know. Maybe they have it in Twitch. Many Canadians were turned back crossing the borders by car. Well, they probably packed like loads of weed in their car. I don't have those. Like I don't carry those with me. I know people need to have a grinder or bong, or they need to like, tuck in some stash because can't live without it, right? For me, it's an interesting thing to learn about. Kind of the same with cryptocurrency, and a little bit similar to like psychedelics. These are the things that are very much trending. But I wouldn't say I want to be a specialist in it. I have my own passion of things to do. So I'm still running the co-living, co-working business, trying to aggregate the community, get the activities going on, and all that. So yeah, so weed is interesting. Um, would you invest in NFTs? Not necessarily NFTs, but I think it's about time I stop delaying and get an e-wallet and start buying some cryptocurrencies just to know how to use it. I was listening to an episode from the podcast I talked to you about, and the creator of this cryptocurrency called Cardano, Charles Hoskinson. And I mean, it was a 5 hour podcast, and it was filled with information, and there's so many things that I didn't understand. And I asked myself, wow, like, this industry of cryptocurrency and blockchain, it's fascinating, but I'm not so much into the trading of it and buying and selling, because it's just another means to make money, and it's a lot of speculation into it. Um, I'm trying to sell my first tweet for $50. Let me know if you're interested. Are you serious? Doesn't lots of you where you're from smoke cigarettes? No. I mean, I think some young folks here, they do vape. Um, I can't tell, Dave. I can't tell if that was a joke or not. Because how much was Jack Dorsey's first tweet sold at? Like hundreds of thousands or some ridiculous amount of it. I've seen people that tried. I know. Everyone is minting their own NFTs as if, like anything you can come up with that has some, pipe, you know, like power, some design in it. You can make. I don't believe in them minting their baby pictures. Who the hell wants your baby pictures? It's weird. It's weird. Like it's a fad, right? Something that has some intrinsic value to it, but people are jumping into the wagon because they hear it from someone. Elon Musk tweets about it. Some news headline talks how much people can make because Christie, the auction house, also sold like an NFT for how many millions, and now everyone's jumping into it and be like, yeah, I'm minting my NFT, I'm trading, I'm like, I have these things that I'm doing, and I'm making some money off it. I'm going to quit my full time job so I can be in this industry. For me, it's like okay, but don't you want to know more about what exactly it is? Like if I ask people who's active in NFT, spectrum, and I asked them, so explain to me how NFT is different from another cryptocurrency, you know, Bored Ape Yacht Club, right? You know, I don't know how many percentage of people can explain to me, the differentiation between an NFT versus a Bitcoin or something else, and then you get more permutations. It's insane. I mean, it's good to be knowledgeable about it. I mean, I would like to know what it is, what's the function of it, um, what are the opportunities, and how does the society become better with the tools, right? But if you're telling me how much money I can make because it's going up and down, like, oh, people are creating these arts and they're making lots of money. I mean, great for them. I know a friend who's an NFT artist, and he's doing quite okay. And he's an artist himself, and his arts are also pretty nice. So I think that's something catered for him, and I'm glad he's kind of getting his name out there in that space. But I'm not a creator per se, so I don't feel like, oh, I should mint something that I own and then sell it in the space to make a quick buck or two. Maybe for the sake of experiencing it, fine, I'll do it once. But yeah, people like to jump into these things, and a couple of years down the road later, they just forget about it. Yeah. um, so let's talk a little bit about traveling, because I think certain countries are opening up, not so much in Southeast Asia region, but Thailand is discussing uh, where else they can open up by the end of the year. So right now, you can come into Phuket, um, and you need to do a PRC test and all that, but you're not going to be trapped in a hotel for like 14 days. Um, there's going to be other places that will also open up, Chiang Mai included, and by then, what that means is tourism is going to come back, and so we're going to receive foreigners coming in to travel or maybe to look for relocation and all that, and so that's something I'm super into noticing, like what's happening on a day by day basis, because that affects my business. Um, and I really want people to know that Chiang Mai is a great place for remote workers, for digital nomads, for people who want to seek like retirement in the Southeast Asia region. Because, like, what who said that? You can use the buck a lot better here than back in the States. So let's say if you have a fund, if you save up some money and you need to spend it, and you want to stretch it, right? And so Thailand would be a very nice place to be based in, and have a pretty decent quality of life for very little money. Do I know anything about dental tourism in Thailand? It's super famous for it. I have a friend from Hong Kong who came here and stayed here for 3 weeks just to get his teeth fixed. And he tells me the service was amazing. The cost is like a fraction of how he needs to pay that in Hong Kong. So let's say um, he needs to do like a full reconstruction of his like teeth, because he hasn't taken care of his teeth for most of his life, and so it's like it's really fucked up, right? And so it would cost easily, you know, like maybe 5,000 US if he were to do it in Hong Kong. And he probably spent maybe 500 US or less than 1,000 US for the entire procedure. And the quality is great. The dentist speaks English. They have all the best and the newest equipment, and it's top notch service. So medical tourism in Thailand is super famous. Uh, Cosmetic surgery, uh, like health checks, and dental services. I think these three are very, very popular among travelers, and people come here, and they come here just for that purpose. Can you find out where he went for me, please? It's a clinic here in Chiang Mai called Chiang Mai RAM. So it has a hospital, and it also has like different clinics. So there's a couple very famous ones. If you go to Bangkok, from from uh, um, from right, there's a I keep forgetting how to spell it. How do you spell it? Bang Brum right. Let me see if I can search for it. Yeah, this is a very famous one in Bangkok. But this is more for health check, body check. Bamramrat. This is like world class famous, and I've been there multiple times. But the one that he went to for dental service is Chiang Mai Ram Dental Clinic, and this is in Chiang Mai, and it's also a very popular private hospital. I think I paid 1 to 2 thousand for just one dental implant. Yeah, so if you like, hey David, how's it going? If you do like a dental implant here, it would cost half of that or one third of that. Um, I'm coming to visit you. Sure, do that, do that, Joanne. Um, so medical tourism has always been like super famous. People from like neighboring Southeast Asian countries. I have a lot of Hong Kong friends who used to travel to Bangkok just to do a health check and stay there for like a few days. Oh, sex change, of course. Anyone needs a sex change? They're pretty famous here as well. Yes, of course, right? We have the most lady boys in the world. So if you're looking for a sex change, I'm pretty sure they have a lot of surgeons here that are darn good at it. Yeah. Don't ask me how it's being done, but if you need a pointer, I can give you some. Right. Dave? Anyone? Anyone's into it? Yeah. Right. So, I mean, that's one of the very nice things in Thailand. Hospitality. Hospital standards, right? Medical care. Um, it doesn't cost an arm or a leg, just to be attended to if you're sick or if you have an accident. So you don't have to worry about being bankrupt if you don't have insurance to pay for medical bills. I remember when John Ho used to be Joanne Ho first on first. Yeah, actually, my teeth is kind of fucked up as well. I always wanted to do braces, but my mom wouldn't let me. Should I do braces? Why not? I mean, I can still do it. I can bear the pain. I don't have to look better. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you mean? I'm good looking enough. Hmm. All right. Should have spent the money on dental work instead of sex change. Yeah, I know. Well, um, sex change. I had an interview. I don't know if you guys remember. We interviewed Lenny, who became Lena, and I met him and her. Joanne should remember Lenny and the current Lena. Do Investline for the cheaper. Yes, they also have Investline here, and it's cheaper, but it's still not cheap. Can I do Investline? I need to be rich first. It's like one of those spendings that I don't really need to do, but if I have extra cash, I might consider doing it. That kind of stuff. Yeah. I know Americans are very much into teeth. So they have like most Americans I know, they have perfect teeth. Asia is not so much the same. So we don't care as much about the teeth. Um, but they do care about their body shape. So we don't have as many fat people here as in America. So I don't know. Body shape, teeth. I think body shape is more should be more of a priority, especially when it concerns health as well, right? Yeah. Anyway, I really don't have a topic here, uh, and I just want to hit that live button and see who is here and have a chat with. And so I'm glad some of you folks showed up. Um, hey Janice, I missed you. Just noticed that you sent me a message. So yeah, If you haven't followed on my Instagram, I'm more active there. So follow my Instagram account, John M Ho. Okay, so you can see me with Instagram IG stories and all that. But I'm gonna keep reminding myself I should come back, do like an hour of a chat just to see who's here. You know, keep you go all like updated with things like that. Thanks, Kevin. Okay, so glad I came on. Yes, I'm glad you guys are here as well. So, I mean, if you guys are not here, I don't know what I would do sitting here all by myself. So I'm grateful. Okay, all right, you guys take care. Uh, Thank you, Joanne. Very nice of you. Okay, and I'll see you around soon. Right? Take care. Bye.